How's it going, family? Welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to talk to you today about Saitama and why I feel that it may be over. I want to compare or draw a comparison between Saitama, Shiba Inu, and the well-known Dogecoin. All three of these projects have something in common. And if you stay tuned to the end of this video, it would all make sense because I'm going to tie everything together for you to understand why I'm of the opinion that it's over for Saitama. So let's go over here to CoinMarketCap and let's take a look at Shiba Inu because you need to look at history in order to know and understand where we are going in the future. So if we look at Shiba Inu was launched back in August of 2020, so about 2 years ago. At that time, Shiba Inu was launched with about 9 to 10 zeros, but for the sake of our discussion, let's just keep it at 10 zeros. 10 zeros Shiba Inu was launched with. As you can see, there was no real pricing action for Shiba Inu. No one was really hyping it up. No YouTubers were really coming out the woodwork or just blasting the news about Shiba Inu all over the internet. As we step through time here, as you can see as my cursor moves over time here, the project stayed stagnant. As we head into 2021, as you guys all know, we had an epic bull run, a bull run of epic proportions during that time. Shiba Inu went all the way up in the month of May. And Shiba Inu lost a total of around 5 to 6 zeros. For the sake of this discussion, let's just call it 6 zeros. My friends, if you had invested $1,000 at the start of this project, way back in August of 2020, and this project lost 6 zeros at the all-time high back in May when the bull run was occurring, your $1,000 would have turned into something like this. Let's do the math. For every zero, that's a 10x of your money. So 1,000 killing 1 zero turned into 10,000. You kill 2 zeros, that 10,000 became 100,000. When you kill 3 zeros, that 100,000 became 1 million. When you killed 4 zeros, the 1 million became 10 million. When you killed 5 zeros, that 10 million became 100 million. And when you killed the 6 zero, it became $1 billion with a B. Yes, $1 billion off of a $1,000 investment back when Shiba Inu was incepted, back in August of 2020. Let's take a look at another example. Let's look at Dogecoin. So if we go over to CoinMarketCap here and we look at Dogecoin, let's do the same exercise. Let's do it because it's all going to make sense when we get to the end and we tie everything together. It's going to make sense. Trust me. Just hang in there. So Dogecoin was released in 2013. So this is one of the OG cryptocurrencies. This is one of the first, if not, this is the first meme coin. This was just created as a joke from a dog. Dogecoin. I mean, the dog was the symbol for the crypto. Dogecoin, no utilities, no use case, just took off as a joke. So let's do the same exercise. So hang with me here. So if we look at Dogecoin, Dogecoin started off way back then in 2013, around 2 to 3 zeros. Let's just call it 3 zeros for the argument for this conversation. 3 zeros. At the height of Dogecoin, which was right around the time that we just looked at for Shiba Inu at the all-time high, which is when the bull run was occurring in 2021, Dogecoin killed all 3 zeros. So it took Dogecoin from 2013 until 2021. So we're talking about 8-ish years, right? That's a long time. That's a long time to be patient compared to Shiba, which was a few months to a year for it to do its thing, right? But if we stay to the conversation here and talk about Dogecoin, it lost 3 zeros. So if at that time, if you would have invested $1,000 at the start of Dogecoin, that $1,000 would have been worth, when you lost 1 zero, 10,000. When you lost 2 zeros, 100,000. When you lost 3 zeros, $1 million off of a $1,000 investment. Yes, you had to have the patience to wait 8 years. Yes. Or you had to wait that long, 9 years or whatever you want to call it. My math may be fuzzy here, but you get my point. The patience paid off for those crypto investors that did that. They waited. They had patience. There were a lot of people saying Dogecoin would never go to a penny. Dogecoin would never go to 50 cents. Dogecoin, guess what? Went to almost 70 cents. So it shut down all the naysayers. So mind you, Dogecoin had no utility. Shiba Inu, and it still really has no utility. Shiba Inu had no utility. You had a guy by the name of Satoshi Kusama as the person that's over the project. I'm not knocking Satoshi. I get it. That's the vibe of crypto back in the day. It's anonymous. You didn't know who was the creator. It's a community token. But let's move to Saitama. So we go over here. We take a look at Saitama. We're going to do the same exercise. And I'm tying all this together, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Saitama. They were the first project in the meme space to advocate for having docs developers. What do I mean by docs developers? Essentially, what I mean in a nutshell is developers who have their identities exposed. You can find out who they are. You know who they are. They have their faces. They're using their names. Anybody can go look up public records. You can find out. You can find these people because they're doxed. Now, a lot of people call Saitama a rug pull. Fair enough. Fair enough. When it first started, no utilities, all hopium, what we like to call hopium, all hype, no delivery. Rug pull, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But here's the thing. Let's take a look at the pricing for Saitama. So if we go back to Saitama, Saitama was launched in May of 2021. At that point, Saitama was launched with about 10 zeros. For this conversation, let's say 10 zeros. Saitama was launched with 10 zeros. At the height of Saitama, now Saitama was a little different as far as their all-time high last year, and that's because of so much hype being around the release of what was called Saitama, which was basically Saitama's first version or stab at Saitapro, right? With the original team that had Max Hernandez. And I'm not knocking Max. He tried his best. He did what he could to get a working product. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. There were so many errors, etc. But hey, I'm not here to point blame. I'm just stating facts. Saitama did not have a marketing wallet. They had none of those resources that some of these other projects, these well-known crypto projects had. So guess what? They had to do what they had to do with either the tokens that they sold. Yes, I'm sure they had investments. I'm sure they sold it. Hey, I'm not one to ridicule them for that. We're sticking to the facts here. We're not trying to go down that path. But if we stay here narrowly focused on the project itself and what it has to offer compared to Shiba and Doge, you'll understand what I'm saying better. Saitama actually saw at the all-time high here right around November at the release party for Saitama, which, by the way, never came out at that time. So I think it's fair to say at that point, Saitama had no utility. Because in my opinion, a utility is something you can touch, something you can get intrinsic value out of, in layman's term, meaning that you see the value. If you have no product delivered, then what value have you added? Absolutely nothing. But stick with me here. So Saitama came out, the price shot all the way up, and guess how many zeros Saitama burned at the all-time high at the Saitama release party? Saitama lost or burned 3 to 4 zeros. Let's just call it 4. Saitama killed 4 zeros with absolutely no tangible utilities. So, answer me this. If you had invested $1,000 when Saitama was first incepted, or when it came out back in 2021 in May, how much would your $1,000 have been worth at the all-time high? You tell me. I'll do the math for you. Let's do it really quickly. So, 1,000, 1 zero gone. 2 zeros gone. 10,000. 3 zero gone. 100,000. And guess what? $1 million with 4 zeros burned in less than 1 year. Ladies and gentlemen, Saitama was founded and released. The contract, the original version 1 contract before we migrated, was released in May of 2021. It went to the all-time high in November 2021. If you invested $1,000 in May 2021, you would have been a millionaire in November 2021. How many months are those? May, June, July, August, September, October, November. And really, it's not even a full 7 months because they went to the all-time high before mid-November. So let's just say 6 months for the sake of argument. Now you tell me, what other industry can you have this much return on your investment? You work a 9-to-5 job. There is no way on God's green earth you're going to turn $1,000 into $1 million in that length of time. In any other industry, maybe not use the term industry, but any other place, banks are not paying that kind of interest. So you tell me. Crypto never sleeps. It's 24/7. Now, why do I feel that it's over? It's all over for Saitama. And what do I mean by that statement? Well, if you've been tracking from the beginning of this video and connecting the dots like I've been connecting for you, we compared Shiba Inu. We talked about the inception. We talked about the timeline, the time horizon, the span. We talked about the pricing, how many zeros it lost. We did the same thing. We moved over to Dogecoin, and we did the same thing for it. And we drew comparisons to Saitama. You see something that's in common there? Something that's in common is, ladies and gentlemen, the length of time that it takes for you to become wealthy seems to have been shortened. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you about the plays and the things that I'm in, right? I can't be your financial advisor, but I'm just keeping it real with you guys. If you tie the knot and you compare all of those things that I just said, if you contemplate that and be honest with yourself, it takes time for crypto projects to moon. And just because it's moon once doesn't mean that that's the only moon. Let's look at another example. If we go back to Shiba Inu, we'll see that, hey, we had a pump here back in April of 2021 before the massive pump at the all-time high. So at one point, this April 18th, which was the all-time high back then, 2021 for Shiba Inu, that was the all-time high at that point. At that point, we never knew what the future held. But guess what? Those people that continued to hold, guess what? Look, it went even higher to an even more massive pop in price. That's what it did. So just because Saitama has reached an all-time high once before does not mean that it cannot eclipse. Yes, I use the term eclipse, the all-time high that is reached already. Doesn't mean it can't do that. It very well may do that. Let me tell you why I feel that way. So we go over here, we look at the use cases. I'm not going to go through these use cases verbatim. I'm just going to call them out by name because I have several other videos that deep dive into these things and why they're going to add value to the Saitama community and why that's going to help push Saitama to bigger all-time highs and mint future millionaires. Okay, it's already minted millionaires. I've already given you an example of how it's minted millionaires, you know. But let's take a look at it. So SideSwap, guess what? Again, when we were at the original all-time high back in November on Hopium, the release of Saitamask that never came out, SideSwap has now been released. That is the web app version of the Saitama Swap, allowing you to buy crypto, transact Ethereum, and different token pairings and things of that nature. Edutainment still hasn't arrived yet. that's coming down the pipe. SaidaPay, there have been a lot of movement and a lot of announcements around ePay, which is going to be integrated into Saita Pro. That release for ePay or SaidaPay is imminent because they are finally doing the test or doing the final testing for that product right now. That is going to allow you to buy crypto using your debit and credit card. So you no longer will have to do swaps. That is going to attract new crypto holders who don't want to waste time in the minutia to learn how to swap. It's complicated to newbies. So you may very well say that, hey, Saitama basically has his own centralized exchange, which is something that's another utility that's coming that's not even on this roadmap here or utilities here. Saita Realty. We'll talk about that in another video. Basically, that's just hard assets. That's actual real property implementing crypto. Wolfcaster Games, play to earn. Fang, NFT marketplace. So let's tie all this together for you, ladies and gentlemen. So what do I mean when I say that it's all over for Saitama? Well, as you guessed it, I don't believe that the project is dead. What I'm saying is all of the FUD, all of the naysayers, all of the people that said Saitama was a rug pull, guess what? You've been duped. You've been tricked. All of the folks that sold early, all of the people that had no faith in this project, now the utilities are coming out. They must feel some kind of way. Now, with that being said, I'm pretty sure with all of these utilities are coming out, there is being more accumulation of this token. We are in a bear market right now. It's no surprise. Yes, we experience lots of runs or many bull runs while we're in a bear market, but that's normal. But I'm going to tell you this. When Ethereum pumps, when we are in the next bull market, the projects that have been diligent in terms of making sure that utilities are in place, the projects that have developers that are diligently working behind the scenes to improve their landscape, their awareness, meaning the awareness of their token or their project, their crypto project to the masses, those are going to be the projects that are going to moon. Okay? Saitama is an Ethereum. It runs on the Ethereum blockchain. It is an ERC20 token. And as I said in a previous video, you need to subscribe to the channel so that you will not miss that good content. Because see, hey, we educate on this channel. We educate you and we teach you and we help you to understand why we say what we say. We don't just report the news. We make application of the news. But if you look at where Saitama has come from, being a version 1 token, we already talked about the botched launch of Saitamask that never really happened. The application came out, it never worked. It didn't work for me at all, you know. So I'm not sugarcoating it. It was complete trash. However, the devs have corrected course. They've hired a 300 plus member team of developers over in India that they have working on staff 24/7. to help make this project into something that the devs promised from the beginning. And henceforth is why they migrated to a version 2 contract. And guess what? If you look at the current price for Saitama, if we go here to DEX2s, or, you know, we could just stay here on CoinMarketCap. If we go here to CoinMarketCap and we look at Saitama, the real version Saitama version 2, we'll see that it has far less zeros. The reason that decision was made when we migrated to version 2, or when the project migrated to version 2, is because all of those zeros gave the appearance of being a meme token, which means that institutional investors did not feel confidently enough to invest in the project. But guess what? Now, with it being with 2 zeros and a number behind the decimal, now the project looks to be legit. Now that we have utilities that are out, now that we have these tangible things that we have, the project has tangible assets now. Now, there is no excuse for Saitama not to go to the moon and possibly, may I say, reach $1. in the near future, possibly in the next bull run. People said Dogecoin would never reach a penny. Look where it went. It reached almost 70 cents. People said Shiba Inu wouldn't do what it did. Look what it did. It killed all those zeros and made multimillionaires and possibly billionaires. Saitama, my friends, may very well do the same thing next, coming shortly. When I say that it's all over for Saitama and it's finished, I'm merely talking about the FUD. So if you like what you've heard, you've liked what you've seen, please consider subscribing to our channel and liking the channel and liking the video as well and leaving a comment below. And I want to leave you with this. Time in the market is far better than trying to time the market. What I mean is, if the price is fair for you to get in and invest, do so responsibly. Again, this is not financial advice, but do so responsibly. Dollar cost average in, right? And you would probably be surprised at the return you will have a few years from now. As I said, I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you how long, but you get the point. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Crypto Stream. Remember to continue to invest with a purpose so that you can create financial wealth for you and your family. We'll talk to you guys later. We'll talk to you real soon. Take care.